Hi beautiful people, this is Serena, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a quick little reading, so you can choose one of these crystals, one of these piles. As always, you can pause the video, connect with your breath, and when you feel that you are ready, then you can go to your pile, and I will put the timestamps in the description box down below. And let's go. Hi, pile number 1, you who chose the green quartz, this is your pile. And you received 2 cards, one of the goddess oracle, that is Inanna, and the keywords are hugging the shadow. And the second card is Osho Tarot, Zen Tarot. And it is a card that talks about your attachments to the past. So I feel that this group needs some healing. You have a lot of green, like you chose a green stone, and there is like green here in this dress here. And I think you are in like a turning point in your life. Maybe you must do some decision that will be like cutting waters, like a division, like a mark in your life that's going to determine how your life will go. And there is some shedding that you need to do. Firstly and foremost, when we are talking about the shadow, we are talking about things that we usually don't like seeing. And even in this card here, you see the person holding a box in her head, So it's almost like you don't want to see, and you can be a little bit, how can I say, stubborn sometimes, and you don't change your mind. Because you're so attached to something that you don't want to let it go, or you don't want to end something. Maybe you are holding into something that doesn't make sense anymore, right? And for this like attachment to the past, because of it, you remain in the same patterns, or in the same relationship, or in the same job, or in the same habits, or whatever. And it's now time to move on. But firstly, you need to face yourself or the situation honestly. You can't work with your shadow or even work with your intuition if you are not honest with yourself. And now is the time to look the things that are in this shadow self, in this shadow aspect. Be truthful about it, face it, and then let it go. It doesn't make sense to hold yourself back because of stuff that happened in the past. You are no longer the same person. The other people involved are not the same person. And it's more like your mind playing tricks on you. You see all this like talking and this like la 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 la, it's like our mind usually works in cycles, in repetitions. That's why our brain so much love music and rhythm and stuff like that. um and that's why the Hindu people, they love to work with mantras, because like it's like a repetition, but it's like a good repetition, instead of just mindlessly like negative talk, and you go back to stuff that happened so long ago and you can't appreciate what's right in front of you. So it's time like to come back to life, because even in Inanna's story, like Inanna was like the goddess of the sky, and she represented like this lighter aspect, but there is like a point in her story that she must descend to hell, like not hell, but it would be like the underworld where the dead people live, and then she goes through a series of trials, and like she faces her sister Ereskkigal, that is like the shadow, the goddess, and through this process she goes through this many trials, and like they say that she lost her clothes in this process, like she was left like with no clothes at the end, and she was naked and like hanging in a hook, and she went through like this death and rebirth cycle, and this is like a metaphor for like being naked means usually we associate it with being honest or pure or something like that. So when we face those deep truths, we must be very honest with ourselves and others, and um only then we can like see things properly and make a good decision. And then she realizes that she and her twin, I don't know if they were twins, but like uh and her sister, she and her sister, they were actually just one. And after she comes back to the surface, she leaves the underworld and goes back to the sky. She's much wiser and benevolent than before. Because if you only experience the light, will you ignore like the shadow, and you can't become whole, because you must have this equilibrium between these two parts. So I think you must like assess your situation, face your shadows, and most importantly, come back to life, because here in this card in Zen Tarot, this attachment of the past is would be the Five of Cups. And in the textbook, the authors, they make a point saying that you are so attached to the past that you don't live the present, and you're almost like you're not living, because you are in the past and you're recreating the situations in your mind and going back and forth, and you are missing life. So they say put that box on the floor. If you need it, you can put a beautiful bowl in it. You can make it beautiful, but in the end you must say goodbye to the box. So you are holding some unnecessary heavy things, and now it's the time to let it go. And I hope that you liked your message, and bye bye. Hi, pile number 2, you who chose the pyrite. This is your message. So you got two cards, one from the goddess oracle, and you got Artemis, and the key word is individuality. And you got from Zentaro the repression card. I don't quite remember if it is the 10 of swords or 10 of wands. But yeah, let me check. Yeah, I checked, and it's the Ten of Wands. Um, so maybe you are holding onto some heavy burdens, and your message like is quite clear. There is a lot of prosperity coming your way, but for that you need to focus on yourself and maybe let go of these preconceptions that you must always be the good person to always help everybody and sacrificing your own happiness to make everybody happy. Because I feel like you have like this deep desire that you want, and you have a plan, and you have like these goals that you want to achieve, and you totally have the strength and ability to do so with this Artemis card. But I feel that there are some limiting beliefs, your mindset that is repressing you from doing so. And I think this has to do with like overburdening yourself with stuff that is not even your own. So maybe you feel like that maybe saying no to help someone means that you are being like egoistical or like being a narcissist or something like that, when that's totally not your case. I think you are taking more things that you can handle, and maybe this has to do with your ability to say no and to prioritize yourself. And in that sense, Artemis, this Greek goddess, she's here to help you achieve this freedom, because she's a free goddess, and she's very like instinctual and free, She chose not to marry and to stay free all her life. And she prefers like to run in the forests, and instead of like marrying, having children and taking care of the children. There's nothing wrong with like having children, marry and stuff like that. That's not the point of the reading. It's more like this is just to translate that even if you have children right now, or even if you have like lots of people that are seeking your help, uh, to know like when to say no and prioritize yourself, your energy, to have like alone time, your individual time, without having to take care of anybody besides you, and learning how to do that, because maybe it's very difficult for you to do so. Here we have like this like kind of strings tying this person down, but we see like from the overweight, like there are cracks here, like it's so much burden, but there is a way out to the sky, right? So I think this pile needs to work on this sense of individuality, and this has a lot to do with knowing how to put boundaries and learning how to prioritize yourself. um Even like in the animal world, there are times like when the mama bird, she's going like to throw her little bird from the nest so that it can learn. And at some point you have to like to trust people that they can to take care of themselves, and maybe learn how can I say that? Like, how can you help other people develop their sense of autonomy so that maybe you can have your own? Or how can you trust, like, maybe if you have children, maybe there are things that they can do by themselves. and maybe you need to give more space for them to do so. Or even you can say, oh, like this day I'm not going to cook and I'm going to focus on myself. Like we can order some food. Oh, or maybe you can learn how to do some fried eggs, I don't know. And obviously with like you teach how to use the stove if they are old enough to do so and stuff like that. But the meaning is that oftentimes we can like talk with people to see if find a middle ground. And even like for some of you, maybe you are even like having these middle ground conversations with people that may be sucking your energy, where there is no like sense of equilibrium in the relationships, and you are the one who's always giving and not receiving anything. So in these times it's very important to say no and prioritize yourself, so that your dreams, your goals can uh, be achieved in this life. You are in a phase right now that you should be a little more individualistic, right? And you can search more about Artemis. Maybe you will find some rituals and stuff that you can do, so that you can connect with this goddess, because she can help you achieve that. That's it. I hope that you like it, and bye bye. Hi, pile number 3, you who chose the red Jasper. This is your pile. I think it's so beautiful, the crystal. Sometimes you can see different layers. I don't know if you are able to see it, but yeah. Um, you received 2 cards. The first one is from the Goddess Oracle cards, and it's Lakshmi, and the keyword is abundance. And from Zentaro, you got like this playful spirit card that would be the Page of Wands. And your message is so beautiful. I'm so happy for you, pile number 3. You are in this moment of receiving abundance, and you'll be able to receive and to express your creativity. There is a strong message of creativity in your pile. I was already feeling that with this Lakshmi, but then the Page of Wands arrived as well, so I was like 100% sure that you will be blessed like with waves of inspiration, and you should act upon. And maybe even like if you have inspiration to do something fun, to play, to do something different, or fun, you should do it, because you may not see like it directly being like you do this and you receive that, but it's like, when you do some hobby of yours, or you go out with your friends and you laugh a lot and you feel so much lighter, and then like when you go check your phone, there are so many messages maybe of your clients requesting your services or stuff like that. In before you had gone out with your friends, or you did your hobby, there was none. And people say that sometimes people respond to your energy, even like online, and like cell phone messages and like Facebook and stuff like that. uh that's why sometimes when we are bored and like we want to do something different, and then we like text our friends or family, and like everybody is like occupied or not in the mood, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm so bored and there's nobody to hang out with me. And then like you do something to like raise your vibration, and then suddenly you look at your phone, and then like that friend that you forgot about then calls you to do something fun. It's the same principle. uh, I know that I've talked a lot, but like, your message is to open yourself to abundance, open yourself to receive. And I think you'll be in this light-hearted space. You will receive inspiration, and you will act upon it, and you just like feel yourself like opening up to life, like the same way this goddess is like, the flower is opening up and then a goddess appears, and there's all this celebration here. I feel that you will go through that if you're not already right now. In the near future, you will be receiving this abundance, this love, this inspiration, this playful energy, this energy of exploration, of doing different things, and feeling extremely happy and good about yourself and life. um yes, there is a lot of sparkle too. You see like the water is sparkling, and here you see this sparkle too. Like, it's so beautiful. So the most important part, if you feel inspired to do something, even if it's like some random idea out of the ordinary, you should act upon it, and you'll be amazed about the amazing things that will happen. Like, you will feel better, but like, there is like concrete abundance coming too, and love too. You can even work with Lakshmi and Ganesha mantras, because they are uh, Hindu god and goddesses of abundance, so you can work with that too. And yeah, that's it. There's happy news ahead. And I hope that you liked your reading, and bye bye. Hi, group number 4, you who chose this beautiful white stone. This is your reading. There's white in your card too. I think maybe you could wear white, or maybe visualize the white color. That would help you. There's a lot of peace too, I think, because of this white stone. And you know how like there are those experiments that you make like a circle with all the rainbow colors, and then you spin it and it becomes white, because white is the result of like the mixture of all the colors. uh, I don't know why, but I'm thinking of diversity. Maybe because of Lilith here, you got this card from the goddess oracle, and the keyword is power. And the other card that you got is like Zen Osho card, Zen Tarot, and it's called Morality. I think it would be the Emperor card, but or the, I don't remember exactly, but this is not that very important here, because we have this contrast between a goddess that is known for being like a representative of the minority people, of the women, that she's a symbol of the feminism too, because in Lilith history she's said to be the first wife of Adam, before Eve, and that she refused to be under him during their sexual relationships, and because of that she was banished from the paradise. And some versions says that she becomes a demon, others says that she's like a goddess that protects the minority people who are oppressed. So this is the background of this card, like reclaiming your power. And the other card talks about morality, and uh, in this description of morality, we see more like a negative view of morality here. We see like this really rigid structures, these person's face that seems like or no, it's like a sad, I don't know, bored expression, I don't know. And you see like the hands closed, not closed, the hands are like, oh, this is all that we can do. Our hands are tied. These are the rules. This is how the world runs, and something like that. This is the feeling that I get from this card. It's like when the morality, when the structure that we build to help us is not helping us, it's like hindering us and oppressing us. We see these like kind of blocks and here, and it seems like a dungeon cell here. I don't know, this I don't know how to say that, but I think you understand this. Like um it's like you become prisoner of this structure that we created to help us grow, but then there is a time like when our values or society values become so rigid that instead of freeing us, it aprisionates us. And we see like the night sky there in the horizon after these bars. So basically, this group, you're being called to own up your power, even own your diversity, and go like against these like rigid structures that doesn't make sense. I think this can be quite frightening, because sometimes when we stay true of who we are, and who we are is not someone or something that people or society values. It's frightening to feel like you can be left out. You can be uh, sometimes politely invited to get out of a group, or even not so politely. Um, but I think with your group there is a sense of like maturity here. I felt that it felt like I said, this peace, like it felt like even if you are quite young, I think you are reaching a point of maturity, inside yourself, uh, to own who you really are and doesn't really uh, be so bothered by what other people might think. And maybe you will face this structure, this like judgment or stuff like that. And you're being called to own up your power, own who you are, because there's like power in it. Uh, this is the key word, power. Like, how is it when you own who you really are? It's like a strength that cannot be stopped. There is a lot of nature here. So I think there is this sense like, uh, even with we humans, we build a lot of things, we have technology, we have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes, even nowadays, with all the knowledge that we've acquired, when we face like natural disasters, we still suffer a lot, like tsunamis and tornadoes and stuff like that, earthquakes and stuff like that. And I think there is a reminder from this card uh, of the power and the force, the strength of being who you really are and owning up that and showing that to the world, because then you will also become strong like nature. And if you are having trouble to face this, you can call this goddess Lilith, that she will guide you and help you. And I think there's just like this element of maturity in your reading. It's like as times go by, maybe you see that it hurts more to conform to the norm than to fight against it. Even if fighting against it is hard, you feel so much alive. Whereas here, it's so like the sky is so gray. It's so frustrating, you know. And here is so much life. There are plants, there are animals, there's so much good going on, and you feel so much alive. So yeah, I hope that you like this reading, and bye bye.